Victories, victories. We're just going to keep piling them on until our Mother the Earth rewards us and takes care of our future generations as she always has. Respect for her this morning. Anybody else anywhere? And then we're just going to turn it over to Penny whenever she feels like taking over and taking us to the future.
Are you ready? We don't have that fancy car though. Thank you, Casey. You got that piece of paper there? Which is the best place to be? Can y'all hear me? Okay. So we are Idle No More SF-based sisters, and we're also all signatories on the Indigenous Women of the Americas Defending Mother Earth Treaty, and there's a lot of those women in this room, and I would like to invite those women to stand up if you're in this room. If you're a treaty signer on the Indigenous Women of the Americas Defending Mother Earth Treaty, just so you know who we are. So that treaty was signed thank you for standing up, ladies. That treaty was signed for the first time in New York during the UN Climate Week on September 27th, 2015. And if you have a chance to look at it, it's at indigenouswomenrising.org. And the treaty calls for us to do everything that we can with love in our hearts for all we hold dear, to ensure that there's a safe, healthy, survivable future for the sacred system of life. And it also invites women who have signed this treaty to conduct ceremonies on each new moon to ask for wisdom in how we're to move forward to do the work that we are here to do at this time. It also calls on us, those who want to answer that call, to conduct a nonviolent direct action every solstice and equinox. And I'm really happy to say that our group of women in the San Francisco Bay Area have complied with every single one of those obligations. So I think our new moon ceremony in June, you want to talk about it?
Hello everyone, my name is Isabella Zizi. I come from the Northern Cheyenne, Arikara, and Muskogee Creek tribes. I'm a member of Idle No More SF Bay and a signatory on the Indigenous Women of the Americas Defending Mother Earth Treaty. So there is a new moon coming up on June 3rd, and I'd like you all to put that on your radar, not just Indigenous women, but all of us here in this circle, in this space, and to be able to invite other relatives to join with us, to join the Indigenous women. Ask for, like Penny was saying, to ask for that wisdom, to see how we can use that time of renewal of Grandmother Moon and that renewal within ourselves to be able to implement better practices on how we can better our actions, better our thoughts, better our words, and what we want for our future generations and what we want for our climate, what we want for our Mother Earth. And there's the new moon after that in July, August, September, October, November, December, and so on. And so if you have the calendar with the moon on it, it's a lovely reminder. Or also, if you're already in tune with Grandmother Moon, you just know that time to pray. And so that's all I have to say.
I think this is the 45th one. 47th? Oh, well, you would know because you have a younger brain. Let's see, and so on the solstices and equinoxes, we have done nonviolent direct actions at the refineries in the San Francisco Bay Area, at the Federal Building. During the Standing Rock actions, we were surrounding the Army Corps of Engineers building. At one time, we had it completely surrounded with 5,000 people. We were doing our part, those of us that couldn't go out to North Dakota, and holding it down for you all there with prayer and action. Our longest action in support of Standing Rock was 11 hours shutting down the federal building in San Francisco. So in the rain. So we're women. We care about all the babies. We think about all the babies that aren't here yet and those to come. And that's where our strength comes from in what we do, to make sure that, even the little baby that's in here, that brand new little baby boy, that his great-great-great-grandchildren have clean air, clean water, and clean soil. So that's who we are, holding it down on the West Coast there. And what we're here for today is right now time, and slowly, when you have a chance, if those of you that put your Post-its up on the River of Time can just wander over and take them off while we're explaining this part of it, because it's going to be a different process from here on than what we've had over the last couple of days. And you might have seen these quilts that we have here on the tables, and I think we were able to have one or two on the walls. They might have. Oh, they're all on tables now. They wanted you to see them in a different way, I guess. And my sister Allison here, she's going to tell you all about these quilts and how they started.
Yagunhio Yongyats, ne Ganyakihaga Dano, Allison Ihara Brown, Yongyats ne Jorhonsa. Greetings, relatives. My name is Allison Ihara Brown. My Mohawk name is Yagunhio. My people are Mohawk and Seneca on my mom's side, and Palatine German and Scottish on my dad's. And I'm a member of Idle No More SF Bay and part of our grandmother's circle that provides leadership for Idle No More SF Bay. Starting in 2014, we did a series of refinery corridor healing walks that Penny talked about a little bit the other day. And part of what we did at the end of each walk is we would stop, most of the walk about 9 to 16 miles, and we would stop about a mile before the end, and we would have people spend some time in prayer and really expand our minds and our spirits to both go deep inside and receive visions of what the future could look like, so that we could really think beyond just addressing the harms and the things that we on the walks we would see incredible beauty and incredible destruction. And so when we gathered a mile before the end of the walks, we really think about for the future. And people would then walk in prayer for the last mile. And at the end, everybody got a square of muslin and colored fabric markers. And people had a chance to take what was in their hearts and their minds and to put them down on muslin and make them into squares. And then a variety of different quilters in our community got together, and some of the quilts are from a particular walk. Others brought all the visions about water, or all the visions about the future, or the harms that hurt people's hearts. So that we brought today for you all to see 4 of the different quilts, of probably what will be about 17 or 18 quilts by the end. We didn't bring all of them, but we did bring some, so that people could get a chance to see some of the visions for the future that came out of people who walked along our refinery corridor from refinery to refinery in prayer.
When you're doing the next part too, you get to your start.
Okay. Hello. Okay.
I want everybody to kind of know that you're in the best place possible, but I think I just heard a tornado siren. Yeah? Yeah. All right. Well, they tell you to go to the lower level. You have done that. But if any of you have can pull up radar on your phone, please do so. And there will be a warning on there we're in K County right now, we're in Ponca City, and it will give you some information. And you can give us some information so we can all be safe. What will happen in case there is a tornado coming close, the people down to the lower level as well, and we will all move away from the windows. But let's wait until, that just was one little short beep and it could have been a mistake. We're just staying aware.
Thank you, Casey. Oh, awake now, huh?
So I just wanted to talk a little bit more about participating and organizing the Refinery Healing Walk. So if I get you to quiet down, thank you so much. So as Penny and I were mentioning about the refinery, you know, we walked from one refinery town to the next. And, you know, we were uplifting and highlighting the voices of those who live on the front lines, as well as inviting our relatives who have also dealt with the impacts of those similar refineries. Cherie Foytlin, Casey Camp Hornet, Candy Mossett or Candy White, and yes, Candy White, and Brian Padas, and lots of other our relatives had joined us part of our walks. And we made those connections, we connected those dots of our frontline resistance and letting each other know that we see what's happening in your communities. We hear what's experiencing very similar issues as well as you. And we're taking this time together to envision what our world can look like for a just transition. You know, we're at that point now, we've been at that point of needing to continue to uplift sustainable energies, sustainable answers, you know, taking us off of uranium and fracking and oil and gas wells and many other issues that we're dealing with that's very extracting to our Mother Earth. And so that moves us forward. One of the important questions that we like to ask all of you, you know, the importance of imagining our future. And we have a few points, like what will our source of energy look like when we have fully transitioned off of these sources of energies? And how will we work cooperatively to address and adapt as we weren't able to stop? And then one of the last ones to think about is how can we create new systems for learning, for justice and accountability, for meaningful work for all? You know, these are just small questions, small but mighty questions that we're planting in your minds right now. But, you know, these are sort of helping you think about these types of questions and how we can actually implement those in our working groups that we'll be breaking out in just a little bit, and to be able to expand that into much deeper conversations and contemplations with one another.
A quick update on the weather. It turns out that was a heavy rain warning, not a tornado warning, so everybody can kind of relax on that one. I wanted to say one other thing about envisioning the future, which is that we found that envisioning the future and holding a bigger vision really helps us not get caught in getting discouraged and disillusioned. That it really helps us a lot, and it helps the people we're trying to reach to keep having a big picture of where we're going.
I don't know if you noticed, but on our River of Time over here, I was going to try to call it something else, our River of Time, but it is all just a River of Time. It's broken up into decades. So it starts with 2019, and then the next one is 2029, 2039, and so on, all the way to 2099. And so what we're inviting you to do is to start to imagine in this river of time what you see shifting and changing, and what you can imagine the world looking like as each decade moves on. And we left the last 3 decades pretty open because we really want to invite the youth to imagine what their later stages of life are going to be like in the best possible way. Like what kind of elders do they want to see happening in the world? Like all of you young folks, imagine that you're 90 years old or 80 something years old, and you're sitting someplace that's beautiful, that's peaceful, and you've got your grandchildren and great-grandchildren. And what have we all worked to accomplish for you to see what you're visualizing at 80 or 90? Does that sound fun? So that's what we're going to do now. And what we thought the process could be is to break up. Yes?
This is kind of off subject. I can't do this, but like, I heard everybody knows where hurricanes go, and
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
there's never been a tornado where I come from. So like, if there was one, or there's a possibility of being one, are we in the right place? Or like, what do we know?
Yes, we are in exactly the right place. Exactly the right place. And if that should happen, we will very slowly walk through these doors into the corridor and the summit rooms over here, away from all of this glass. But I want you to know, all of you, we are in exactly the right place for this day at this time. Okay? So the process that we thought we would use is we want to have all of the ages from 26, if you are in ages from child to 25, we want you to gather over here. So children to 25 years, gather over here. Okay? You got to do it quietly. Thank you. Okay, if you are 26 years old to 39 years old, we want you to gather over here. 26 to 39 over here. Right where Benishi's holding her hand up. 26 to 39. And if you are 40, we want you right here. 40 years old to 55 years old, right here. And if you are 56 years old to however the oldest person in this room is, we want you over here. Are you the oldest person in the room, Casey? Come to Casey if you are 56 to elder.